What's going on, guys? BossUp86 here, back to your video, and today I have another collection update video for you guys. So I went to the record store just about like a half hour ago and got some pretty interesting stuff here, if I do say so myself. So yeah, I did my final album ranking of the year, and you guys are getting a collection update video for you guys. So you guys get a 2-for-1 special. Hooray! So without wasting any time, let's get into these albums. Danzig 2 Lucifuge. This is the second offering from Danzig's solo career that came out in 1990. I do have Danzig, the self-titled album, and Danzig 3 How the Gods Kill. And this is the part 2 of the, I guess you could say, 7-part, if you want to be technical, because, there's Danzig 4, Danzig 5, 666, and 777. So this kind of continues what Danzig was going for on the self-titled album, but this one kind of different from the original one. Whereas the first one kind of felt like more straight ahead, classic heavy metal with a bit of a hard rock vibe to it. This is full on blues metal, in my opinion, because you have, those typical like Danzig, classics like Her Black Wings, Devil's Plaything, and let's say Long Way Back from Hell. But you gotta kind of got some different ones, and like the Roy Orbison inspired ballad "Blood and Tears." There's some really damn good songs on this album. Long Way Back from Hell, Snakes of Christ, Tired of Being Alone, I'm the One, Pain in the World, Killer Wolf. There's some really damn good material on this album, and it's a shame that it kind of feels like Danzig kind of gets, I wouldn't say overlooked in some aspects, but I feel like it doesn't get respected enough, in my personal opinion. So if I ever do a ranking of him, this one will probably rank up there as one of the best of his entire career. So yeah, check this one out. Iced Earth, self-titled. This is the self-titled debut album that came out in 1990 from these American power metal icons. Third Iced Earth album in my entire collection, and we have a damn good one on my hands. This is some really, really, really damn good stuff. You kind of sense where the band would be going after this, and their signature sound is in full effect on this album. This is actually the European alternative album cover. The original is just like a angel falling from the sky, and it's all like snowy and all that stuff. And the original album art works fine, but I feel like this is a lot better because that's pretty damn good. And on the back, it's all the members that were on this on this album, and they kind of got that. They kind of got their signature sound like immediately, and I think this is the 2020 remaster on Century Media Records. And yeah, some really killer stuff here. You got your signature thrash and speedy riffs in here. You got you got a little bit of that power metal vibe and some symphonic moments, and you have the prog with Ball's songwriting on this album. Everything's exceptional, except for the vocals. Oh dear lord, Gene Adams' vocals are pretty damn bad on this album, and he just sounds so damn squealy. Like it sounds like if Rob Halford got kicked in the nuts and he was sucking on helium to relieve himself. It was it's really bad, really, 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 really bad, folks. And I wish I could say nice stuff about it, but I really can't, in all honesty. But there's some damn good songs on this album, like the title track, Written on the Walls, Colors, Curse the Sky, Life and Death, When the Night Falls. There's some really damn good tracks. If I were to recommend this album, this would be a solid start. But to me, I would kind of start with the remastered on Days of Purgatory, where they kind of remastered this album with Matt Barlow on vocals. I highly recommend that. But the recording on this album is pretty good. It's a little raw and a little gritty, but the vocals really drag this thing down, in my opinion. Thankfully, John Greeley, he wasn't a massive upgrade, but he was a bigger upgrade than Gene Adams. But we got Matt Barlow, and the rest of the is history. So, good offering, but really being held back by the vocals. But I still give this a recommendation. Mastodon, Hushed and Grim. This is the latest studio offering from these originally sludge metal, now they're more prog metal act with a little bit of a stoner vibe to them. And I've always heard good stuff about this band and this album in particular. And this was at a point in the band's career where they're kind of going through a dark time because their longtime manager unfortunately passed away during the making of this album. And just looking at song titles like More Than I Could Chew, The Beast, Skeleton of Splendor, and Pain with an Acre, it kind of you kind of get a sense that this is going to be a pretty dark album. And this is actually a 2 disc, and I've only heard 2 tracks, Pushing the Tides and More Than I Could Chew, and I thought those were pretty actually solid. So I need to dive more into Mastodon because I do have Leviathan in my catalog. So yeah, again, I'll have to dive more into Mastodon maybe in the near future if I have it on my community tab. You guys want me to rank them, I can certainly do that. But I hear nothing but great stuff. And a coworker I work with is a massive Mastodon fan. So yeah, I'm willing to check this one out. And I hear this was one of the best albums, if not the best album out of 2021. But I did listen to it. So yeah, I think I got a good album on my hands. So yeah, check this one out. Mayhem, Death Crush. This is the first EP from these Norwegian black metal legends, I guess you want to call it that. Oh Lord, what a EP this is. Now, I don't typically get EPs, but when I saw this in the record store, I had to get it because it's one of the most notorious EPs of all time, because this does maintain that black metal production, but this is full on death metal and to a lesser extent grindcore, because the riffage on this album is just fucking intense on through and through. And of course you have Euronymous, Messiah, Necrobutcher, Mayhem, and Maniac. And they actually have some unique nicknames. Like Messiah's name is Iron Lungs, Maniac is gut puking, Necrobutcher, 4-string Crush Fuck, Euronymous, Death Saw, and Mayhem Hellhammers. Yeah, just insanity. This was released on this. It says on Wikipedia it was released through Poser Corpse Music, but it was also released on Death Like Silence Records. Thanks Sodom for that. And the title track, Chainsaw Gutsfuck, and Pure Fucking Armageddon, and Necrolust. Like, this is one of the most notorious EPs of all time. And again, I don't typically collect EPs, but I had to get it because yeah, it's insane. And if I ever get into listening to Mayhem, oh boy, just wow. I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know what to say. So yeah, this is one of the most legendary EPs of all time, and yeah, I recommend it if you're in for an absolute acid trip of an album. But yeah, there you go. Check it out. My penultimate one, Opeth, Blackwater Park. This is I want to say, the 5th studio album from these originally Swedish progressive death metal act. Now they're more prog metal, more leaning on prog rock as the years go on. This is the 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary of this album. This came out in 01. So I want to say, 20th anniversary. This is the 20th anniversary, not 30th. The 20th anniversary of this album. And I haven't fully heard of this album. I have heard maybe The Drapery Falls and Harvest. I haven't listened to the album in full, but I have heard this is one of their best albums, if not their best album in their entire catalog. So yeah, I'm willing to maybe check it out. And it's actually a booklet, and it talks about kind of the making of the album, and kind of like what I got Metallica's Death Magnetic. If you flip through the pages, and it talks about what the songs are, it actually talks about or it shows the song titles for each song and shows the lyrics for it, which I think is really damn cool. So yeah, I may check it out one day, may not. I'm not the world's biggest Opeth fan, but I'm willing to check it out because, I love Michael Rockenfeld and all that stuff. So yeah, I think I got a really damn good album on my hands. Check this one out. And finally, I have Slayer, God Hates Us All. This is the ninth studio album from these American thrash metal legends, part of the Big Four, along with Megadeth, Metallica, and Anthrax. Oh boy, what an album this released on all days, everyone's favorite day, 9/11. Yeah, this was actually released on 9/11, folks, and well, I guess fortunately it doesn't have the original album cover, which the original album cover is a Bible with the band's logo on it, covered in blood and nails in a pentagram-like form. Just the swellest of album covers. Yeah, listening to tracks like Disciple and God Send Death, knowing what happened on that day, it's a little haunting, don't you think? This album has kind of a soft spot in my heart as being one of my favorite Slayer albums, considering the first song I listened to was the song Bloodline, and I really, really, really love that song. But going through it again, there's some really damn good tracks, like, again, Disciple, God Send Death, New Faith, Threshold, Exile, Bloodline, Warzone's really underrated, Payback. The only problems I have with this album is, one, production does sound very new metal-y. Production kind of reminds me of Diablo de Musica, the album beforehand. And how everyone feels about that album. But it was it was still pretty thin to mix, and Tom Arai's bass wasn't uh, present at all in this entire album. And this album does, in my opinion, it does have a little too much on it. Like, I feel like they could have maybe cut a couple tracks down. Like, there's like 13 tracks. Maybe if it was just down to maybe 9, then I think it would have been a lot better album. There's like parental advisory. So, oh no, they say the word fuck all a lot. Oh, dear Lord, would someone think of the children? But I think this is one of Slayer's best albums. This is the alternative album cover, too, if I didn't mention it. I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's pretty standard, but yeah, it's one of the best Slayer albums, in my opinion. It's not the pure return to form, but it was in the right direction I was going for, considering where they were coming from out of the 90s. But this damn good album. I do recommend this album, and yeah, I think it's one of the best in their entire catalog. So, folks, that is it for another collection update. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. What was your favorite album out of all of these? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys, excuse me, leave a like, leave a comment, tap that bigger subscribe button, tap the bell so when I upload, you guys will be notified. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and most importantly, join the herd. Talk in the next video. Peace out.